Hey guys, we're Genocider recording live from the local county prison cell. This is another fight that I'm going to be doing, that I was kind of off on and off about, but I'm actually kind of excited to do it, to be honest with you. This is Himiko Toga who I'll refer to as Toga, from My Hero Academia, and Genocider Syo, or Genocide Jack, Genocide Jill, whatever you want to call her, um, from Danganronpa. Specifically Danganronpa 1 Trigger Happy Havoc and Danganronpa um, Total Despair Girls, I believe is the name of the game. Um, Doing this for two reasons. A, I was originally going to do Toga versus Neo from Ruby, but I didn't want to do another Ruby character. Then I was going to do Toga versus Mystique, but then I was like, that's another My Hero Marvel fight, and there's like literally a million of those. And I also didn't want to do a shapeshifter fight. Like, that to me is kind of boring because it's like, I turn into you, you turn into me. Nothing's changed, you know? Um, so I needed like a connection for the fight other than, shapeshifters. Um, but then I came across this and I'm like, that's perfect. And it seemed like it was like an excuse, but then I looked into it a little more. Like, I got into it, and I was like, this is perfect. So, um, let's start with Toga. I know I said I've been doing too many. Similarly to Ruby, I know I said I've been doing too many My Hero fights, but I want to do this one. Okay, so Toga is a high school girl. She had uh, kind of a. I would say she had a kind of seclusive childhood where she, was kind of she was kind of shunned by everyone for being weird and kind of psychotic. So she then, in addition to her psychosis, decided to tr- try to be more popular and try to become like more the people who were criticizing her because she still looked up to them and everything. And this kind of gave her this weird, this like Valley Girl sort of psycho killer vibe, um, which happened to fit perfectly with her quirk. Now, of course, I'm gonna have to go into a quirk with a My Hero character because that's the idea. Quirks are a genetic feature. It's basically a superpower that you develop due to that the human race has kind of more or less evolved to develop. More than 80% of the human race in the My Hero Academia universe has a quirk, and it is a genetic mutation. It is something that you kind of just that the entire species has developed now. And with each generation, it gets stronger and stronger. Now, Toga's is not super strong as you would think. It's not super strong in terms of, like, on first glance, but as we learn in My Hero Academia, it is finding a style in which you can apply your quirk and abilities to that works for you rather than what it is by default. Toga's ability is that if she consumes an amount of a person's blood, she can transform visibly into that person for a period of time. I believe it's what is it? It's a minute for each like fluid ounce of blood or something she consumes, something like that. Now, normally that would be a lot to ask of somebody, but she has kind of worked around this. Not only does she carry knives with her, but I think they're like scalpels or like razor blades or something. She also carries hypodermic needles with her that she, stabs into people, and they're connected to tubes, and she can just manually inject their blood into herself so that she can use that to transform. Um, she has multiples of these to the point where she can actually turn the tubes like tensile, so that she can like shoot them out like a rope dart, and she can do this multiples at a time. And her quirk has also evolved, I believe, is the term. Like it evolved to the point where now if she drinks the blood of somebody who has a quirk, with some limitations, she can also use that a person's quirk while she is transformed as them. We do note in the My Hero Academia universe that copying quirks don't copy stockpile quirks, as they're called, as in like a quirk that works by accumulating a certain, an amount of power or amount of something in order to function, so, because you can't copy the whatever it is they're stockpiling. So Toga wouldn't be able to copy somebody's quirk if it was a stockpile quirk. She was shown, however, using Uraraka's quirk to decrease gravity. So, she was able to do that, but she did say in the fight that she had used the last amount of blood that she had from Uraraka, so the only other person she could have would be that Cammy girl, and I forget what was her quirk, like fireworks or something. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, so that would be, and Toga, aside from that, she's also like a serial killer basically. She's a complete psychopath who carries weapons on her at all times and is just really really good at killing and assaulting people. And she does have an obsession with specifically Deku, Uraraka, and other people she considers friendly and nice and good looking and all of that. Which is why it's fitting that her quirk turns her into the people that she drinks blood from, because it's her trying to get closer to the people that she likes. It's her way of becoming more like with people that she likes, because she was isolated from the people she admired so much. But that's neither here nor there. On to her opponent, Genocider Syo, who I'm gonna call her Syo because it's, I think, the original name. Genocide Jack and Jill just seem kind of weird to say. So, and also let me point out that I will not be providing context for most of what I'm explaining, because wow, is Danganronpa just fucking out of nowhere most of the time. So, Genocider Syo is the alternate personality of Toka. I don't remember her last name. And Toka was the ultimate author, I believe, whereas Genocider Syo is the ultimate serial killer or murderous fiend, depending on your translation. I know I said no context, but I will give a brief explanation. So, the Danganronpa games revolve around Hope's Peak Academy, which is a school where the ultimate students of differing skills apply to kind of guarantee themselves a future. And hidden underneath that, it is actually a Hunger Games slash Saw style, fight to the death, not fight to the death, but event where, all of these students try to murder each other and then figure out who did it. If you're not familiar with Danganronpa. And throughout the series, she actually survives not only once, but twice, which, if you realize how insane Danganronpa is, that alone is an amazing achievement. But this isn't a surprise when you look at her actual ability. Now, Genocider Syo developed her name through a reputation of murdering boys that she and Toko thought were hot. You see, Toko and her share knowledge and emotions with each other, but they don't share memories and experiences. So whenever Toko has an affection towards somebody and turns into Jack, or Genocider Syo, I should say, Syo tends to um, feel the same way and want to kill the person. Especially if they were rejected in some way by them, which is more often the case because uh, Toko has a history of neglect as well, which kind of fuels the psychosis that causes the twin personality disorder. Um, she has a signature kind of. She has like a trademark, a calling card almost of crucifying her victims with scissors. Now, scissors don't seem like an optimal weapon, but she is like the fucking Captain America of using these scissors. Like, she has been able to slice through giant boulders. She's been able to slice through uh, fucking giant robot teddy bears. No context. And she's even survived hits from a megaphone gun. No context. That was able to damage giant mechs as well. So, and when you have her fight scene in Despair Girls, she also is able to jump like dozens of feet in the air on her own power. She's able to throw these scissors again through the bodies of these giant machines. She's able to curve them as she throws them. She's able to almost like psychically manipulate them because she can kind of twirl them around her body. She carries, dozens upon dozens of these on her at all times, to the point where she can basically like spin around and flash them out and then put them back in place. And these scissors, her Scissors as they're called, um, are again seemingly indestructible and razor sharp considering, all of these feats. So she's definitely like superhuman. It's not like it's not like, oh, she's just really really good with the. No, she is doing things of which like human limits cannot account for. Like I said, jumping dozens of feet in the air, cutting through giant boulders and mechs with fucking scissors, tanking like shots that can destroy mech. Like, this isn't a normal thing. Um, the only downside I would think to her abilities is that her psychosis is triggered one of two ways. A, she sneezes, or B, if she gets electrocuted, then she'll revert back to Toko. Like if Toko carries a stun gun that she can zap herself in the brain with and force the transformation. But if she does it too many times, she'll like fry her brain and go brain dead. Apparently. So I guess you could say she's probably weak to electricity in that regard. However, accomplishment wise, it really shines in her favor. Like I said, anyone who can survive Danganronpa once, let alone twice, it's more than just coincidence at that point. But anyway, who am I backing in this fight? So, I know I said I didn't want to do a shapeshifter versus shapeshifter fight because, what's the point? But in this fight, it's also kind of true that the characters being similar is more of the theme because the fact that Toga's a shapeshifter doesn't really come into play here. You could probably do something with it, but it doesn't really matter much. It might make for a good distraction, but that's all it's gonna be. Other than that, I mean, like if they give Toga Uraraka's quirk, when she takes Uraraka's blood, if they let her do that, then this is a little more even. But even then, Toga's options of what she can do to kind of sway things in her favor are very limited. not only because she doesn't have too many options that she can use to compete, like I said, with the rope dart needles and the transforming herself, and if she can use Uraraka's, quirk temporarily, like I said, they're all temporary. And they're also all dependent on getting hits in. So she can transform into Syo, but that's only going to work once or twice. And like I said, she has to actually drink some of Syo's blood first, which means she has to draw blood from her first. Whereas consistently, Syo has the advantage here. By the way, I'm pronouncing it Syo the whole time because it's Syo, but I think they say show in the dub. I don't. Whatever. Syo has the consistent advantage of being like incredibly superhuman and just, you know, tanking shots from shit and again surviving a fucking death trap that is Danganronpa. So yeah, I'm going with Genocider Syo then. No question. This was a lot of fun to do though, because again, I like putting new characters from series that I've never done before. Um, and it has nothing to do with the fact that there is a guy who will like every video that I make a Danganronpa reference in. But anyway, Verbal Engine 95, see ya.